So I'll show you what we're starting with right here. All right, so here's our starting point. You can see she's all trimmed off and inside there. So I'm gonna try, I went ahead and I've got it all kind of sanded in place. So I'm gonna try a couple of different things here. I've got some expanding foam that I think I'm gonna stick in there to kind of fill the hole up. I'm gonna kind of put maybe some tape or something in here so it doesn't just overflow and go in everywhere. But I'm going to kind of tape it up to kind of block up the hole. Then I'm going to come back with some expandable foam over that. And then I've got some plastic repair stuff that we use. It's like, it just gets mega hard at work, that I'll use that to kind of make a shell. Then come back over top of that with some other more like a finishing type stuff to kind of finish it out and see how it goes from there. So we'll see how we go about filling in that hole now. So wish me luck, because Lord only knows how this is going to turn out. I'm going to put some adhesion promoter on here. This is some stuff that 3M recommends that you use with all of their products like this, all their two-part stuff. So shoot a little of this stuff in here. I'm not really worried about if it sticks to the tape or not. Hopefully it makes a good little backing for it and just kind of flows in here and sticks to everything. I really just want the foam to really just kind of make a shell in there. I'm going to kind of carve it down anyway, so I can come back and put the hard stuff over top of it and then shape it out. So I really just kind of fill that hole in right there with it and let it kind of wrap around everything. That's my plan anyway. Well, making a mess if it ain't doing anything else. I don't know if that's going to do what I want it to do or not. It's expanding a little bit. Looks like a mess. I don't know. We'll see what it works out to. Well, while I wait on the spray foam to set up, you can see that line that I drew across there. So this windshield is one that has to be roped in, so it's got a real thick gasket. It's about that thick, I don't know. And this dash is actually overlapping the pinch weld just a little bit right here. And of course the windshield goes in at an angle, so I'm gonna try and cut it back. That way it just kind of fits, maybe has, you know, a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch gap between the windshield and the front of the dash there. So I'm gonna start by cutting that off and then take the old windshield and just kind of lay it up in there in the hole and see how it fits, see how much more I have to take off of it. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that off while we wait on this foam to set. Actually, the foam's set up pretty decent already. Let's take a quick look here. It actually did a lot better than I thought it was going to when I first kind of shot it all in there. It actually expanded out pretty good. I got a couple little spots in there that I'm going to shoot a little bit more and let it expand out. Now remember, I don't care if it actually expands out a little bit too far, because I'm just going to kind of grind it and cut it back and reshape it to what I want so that I can go over top of it with some stuff that I can kind of finish and paint, because I'm going to go back and just paint this dash when it's all said and done. But I'm actually pretty impressed with it. It looked like it was going to be a real mess there for a minute, but it's actually it's expanded out pretty nice there. So I got a couple more spots I'm going to hit. I'm going to go ahead and trim off the front of the dash there, and while we let this finish setting up, and then we'll come back and see where we're at. All right, so I think what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to measure the distance from the weld, the pinch weld at the top and the bottom. I'm just going to cut me a little piece of wood that will sit on that, and that'll kind of give me an idea. If I can get the piece of wood where it'll lay flush against that pinch weld, then I'll know that that's actually where the center of the windshield will be, so that I can come back, a quarter, 3/8 of an inch from there. Because I cut that and it still ain't far enough. I mean, it's better than it was, but it still ain't there. So let me go see if I can get a piece of wood together now so we can do this. Well, may have gotten a little bit carried away whenever I was kind of shooting the expanding foam in the second time around. Looks like it may have expanded a little further than I had planned for it to. I actually ran out. Perhaps I put too much in some places and should put a little more in others. Started on the passenger side. I'm gonna have to get another tube of it, obviously, so I can finish in all that area right there. This part didn't come out too bad, but up there on the windshield post it overflowed pretty bad. So all I can do now, though, is just let it get all hard and everything, and then just try to trim it back. See what I got to do to get her shaped out the way I need and go from there. So hopefully that's not too big of a mess, but I don't know. We'll see. So as you can kind of see, now I got it kind of roughly all trimmed in and I got my basic shape here. Now the main goal of this was really just to kind of fill up this hole right here with something to kind of give me like a back or something to build onto it so I can extend the edge of this dash and kind of finish it all in. So I ran out of foam. I've got to get some more foam this next week. Today's Sunday. I can't get any today. So I got to get some more foam to go on the passenger side so I can put it in there, let it set up good, and do the exact same thing on the other side. Now, once I get the foam all shaped in on the passenger side, I'm going to take the dash back out. That way I can start working with my skin. I'm going to grind this in just a little bit farther so that I can skim over top of it to build the dash, to build up the end of it so that we can be finished up and then get ready to paint this thing. So I'm going to go on. I'm not going to video trimming out the passenger side, but we will come back once I get it back out of the truck and we get ready to go on with the next step of this. So stay tuned. All right, so check these bad boys out. This is a set of aftermarket kick panels for a 2000 model Ford F-350. My brother used to run a stereo shop, and he hollered at me the other day and said, "Hey man, I got these for your body style truck if you think you could work them in there somehow." And I was like, well, I wasn't planning on putting speakers down there, but I mean, hell, you know. He gave them to me, so I said, here, try it, see if you can fit them in there. So as you can see, this one's already sanded because as you can see on this one, it's a textured product, and I'm smoothing out the dash and all the panels and everything so I can paint it. So I'm going to go and smooth these out too. This one I went ahead and I've already got it most of the way kind of fitted in there. I actually was able to kind of whittle them down and get them to fit. They don't look too bad. I'm going to show you that here in just a minute. I'm making some screw holes to mount them, but they actually fit in there pretty good. They sit down nice to the floor. So I just got to finish putting some screw holes in them, and I've got to make what you'll see. Let's see here. All right. See that shape right there? Okay. This area right here. Okay. Well, that is a lot more of a, I guess, concave shape than what my actual door jamb is. It's kind of more of a 90-degree deal. Like that. So what I'm going to have to do is set it in there, screw it in place, and kind of make me a little cardboard template to sit in there to fill that gap up. And then I will come back over it and work it in with some plastic repair stuff. And when we paint it, it'll all look like one. So let me show you how it fits in the truck. All right, so check that out. Fits in there with the parking brake. The parking brake does kind of hit it a little bit, but that's just because of where I kind of body dropped it. But I should be able to adjust the parking brake, no problem. So it'll all sit in there good. Let me get these wires out of the way. So you can fit a 6.5 separate down in there. So that should add some nice sounds. Now we've got to add a screw hole right here, which I'm going to do once the dash and all is back out, because this sits up firmly against the A-post right there. So it's not a problem at all. I can put that hole in there before I mount it. But as you can see right here, you see it fits really nice along through there. Here's our problem area. See that big old gap right there? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to make a cardboard template that'll sit right in there. Then I'll kind of glue it in like 3 spots to the panel itself. Oops, sorry, I got a little crooked there. I'm going to glue it to that panel itself. Then I'll pull it all back out, and I'll kind of glue over it, and I'll probably just leave the piece of cardboard stuck back in there and use it as a backing plate, finish it out all nice and flush. That way, whenever I paint this, you'll never know, and it'll all sit up in there, and it'll just kind of reshape the door jamb, because I've got new weather strip, should be here this week, that goes right here anyway, so it won't really matter. It doesn't hit the door at all, doesn't contact it, so should be good to go. So I'm going to kind of finish trimming this up, and we'll come back whenever I get this little template made and show you kind of what I come up with. All right, so here we are. As you can see, I got my little cardboard piece that I made. I kind of taped them on there a little bit. You can see where I put a little dabble of glue right there. Then on the inside, I just ran a little bead, so kind of hold it in place. So now I'm going to stick it back in the truck, and we'll test fit it. And if it fits like it should, then when we come back out, I'll be able to go ahead and epoxy over the whole thing there and move on from there. So let's go test fit it in the truck. Well, there you have it. As you can see, fits in there real nice. So now we'll be ready to come in, and I'm gonna pull that dude back out of there and get it on the table here and finish it all in with the plastic work and everything, and then it should be ready to prime and paint. On to the next thing. Well, it's the next day, and I did go ahead and pop that dude off last night, and I took it to work with me. And I may or may not have done a little bit of work to it while I was at work today and finished it up. Or may have allegedly done some work on it while I was at work. So, there she is. That dude's all finished out, ready to prime and paint. So now all I gotta do is get the other side done. Then I'll finally be able to take the dash out and pretty much do the same thing to the sides of the dash. And man, I am excited and ready for that part of this job. All right, well, as much as I would have loved to finish the dash and everything all in this episode, getting on about 15 minutes at this point, and I try not to drag them out too long. That way you can watch it on your lunch break or while you're on the crapper, whatever it is, wherever you watch your YouTube videos. Nonetheless, come back for 28. We're going to finish up the sides of this dash. I'm going to kind of have to skip way forward in time because I just finished that like a couple weeks ago. But no big deal. Nonetheless, I want to show it to you finished. I want to show you how I narrowed this thing up and made it look like a Ford Dash again. So come back for 28. Always like, subscribe, hit that little bell. That way you get notifications whenever I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.